We are on page 5, and I want you to label your variables A, B, and C. And you might be wondering, like, what are you even talking about? What's something with 3 variables? You guys, yesterday we said 2 lines intersect at a point, right? How the heck am I getting an X, Y, and a Z?
3 dimensions.
X, Y, and Z. Now we have 3 lines literally in outer space.
3 dimensions.
In 3 dimensions, and they still can meet at a point X, Y, and Z, right? They're going to now, yesterday was just X and Y. Today it's X, Y, and Z. It'll meet at that 3rd dimension point if they have a solution,
And if
right?
there's 4.
So now that we've got them labeled A, B, and C, why did I make them A, B, and C? Do you think that we need to involve A, B, and C in our final solution? Yeah, all 3 equations need to be involved, okay? So this is where we get to be creative. Which variable do you want to get rid of? And you might want to start looking ahead too. Do you want to get rid of the X's? Again, we're going to have to look at all 3. The Y's or the Z's, there's no wrong answer. So, but Beck's like, I already see some opposite signage, and I think that's what took him to Z. Are we good with going with Z's? If we choose to get rid of Z in 2 equations, you got to get rid of Z in the next one. So I'm down with it. Do you guys want to work with A and B first, B and C first, or A and C to get rid of the Z's? It makes no difference.
I'd say A and C.
You want to go A and C?
Yeah, you're multiplying by a lower value.
Okay, so what would we multiply A by, Cooper?
2.
2. Do you guys agree if we did 2A plus my C? So here's how I would write it if I were you. I'm going to go take 2A and add it to my C. That's my little that's my little thing to let me know what's going on. Okay, for a Twiz, and her hand raise. Who could tell me what 2A is going to get me? 2A, help me out, hand or raise. You got this, Sean.
What?
You got this. Sean, what's 2A? You got this.
Would be 8x plus 4y plus 2z is equal to 14.
Beautiful. So many people would have said 7. Okay, so many people would have said 7. Keep that 2 around. Guys, you're going to notice with my Z's, I always put a dash through it. Are you going to get your 2's and your Z's mixed up? Probably. I'm just letting you know this is a good strategy. Okay, then Coop said just add that to C. So you guys, I'm going to just bring C down beneath it. I'm going to say C was X and 3Y minus 2Z and a negative 8. And we said let's go add them up. Tay, you want to add those for me? What would 8X plus 1X get me?
9x.
How many Y's would I have, buddy?
7y.
How many Z's?
Just cancel out.
Exactly. Here we go.
-22.
Close, if they were both negative. Beck had us get rid of Z's. You want to get rid of Z's again. We have involved A and C. Which equation do we need to involve? We got to involve B. Do I care if you use B and A or B and C? Don't care at all. You just want to get rid of the Z's. Would you rather use B and A or B and C?
B and A.
B and A, why?
Because you could just multiply by A by 4.
So you're saying then they'd already have the opposite signs?
Yeah.
If we did B and C, we would multiply the C by what?
Negative.
-2, because then a negative times a negative would make it positive. I feel like we make mistakes when we got negatives. I'm good with that. So you're saying we're going to do 2A's? Is that what we're doing?
Yep. Oh, 4.
No, 4A. My bad. 4A. And we're going to add that to which one? B. Porter's going to give me 4A. Here we go.
16x
Whew.
plus 8y plus 4z equals 28.
Love it. You guys, if some people might do this off to the side, great. That doesn't bother me one bit because I feel like sometimes us having to do it in our head is hard. I'm going to add that, Porter, to B, which was 2x, 2y, minus 4z, and negative 4. This.
It would be 18x plus 10y equals 24.
Agreed. Don't you agree we can do that? We got rid of the same variable. We can do it. Now, this is where we were yesterday. This was the equation I gave you yesterday-ish. I gave you 2 equations with 2 variables. So now we got to go do what we did yesterday. How could I get rid of my x's or my y's?
Multiply the first one by 2, so -2.
Ooh, Bisky says -2. What do we think about a -2 right here?
Yes.
What's that going to get me for my x's?
Negative 18x.
I like it, Bisky. So I'm going to go like this. I'm going to say, all right, I'm going to take this guy times by a -2, and I'm going to put my answer right underneath what I had before, just because I don't want to write it again. Bisky, what do we get when we distribute that -2?
Negative 18x to negative, or minus 14y, and then minus 12.
Beautiful. Tatum, add these up for me, girl. How many x's would we have?
0,
None. How many y's?
-4,
Yes, ma'am. Equals?
12,
Yes. Tatum, what's my y?
3, -3.
Beautiful. So, you just found one. This is great. Guys, I want you to know, if you ever get an ugly fraction or decimal, you've done something wrong. I love you too much to say 17/15 is an answer. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to give you something nice, okay? If my y is -3, where could I plug that back in to solve for another variable? Would it work if I put y is -3 right here? Wouldn't I have two unknowns still? It's not going to work to go back up here. Anyone have any idea? So let me go ahead. We had this gray. We had this green.
You could switch z to substitution.
My y is -3. Don't you agree? After, I can't remember who did it, we got these down to two variables. What do you think, Teo? Either one of them, Mateo. Which one would you rather do, gray or green? Cool. My y is -3. I'm going to go plug that in right there. You with me, Livingston Sanders is? We got 9x minus 21 is 6. 9x equals,
27.
are we a little warm inside? Because it comes out to a beautiful 3. That makes me pumped. If it was 3.19, we know we've done something wrong. Typically, it's a negative sign. You guys, now I have a y and an x. What could I do with those to go get my z? Do I have to plug it into the first one? Could I plug it in the second one? Or the third? Vise, you tell me, which one would you rather plug it into? I don't care. The first one. He says, let's just go easy breezy on the first one. Vise, if x is 3, what would my 4x get me? 12. My y is -3. Minus 6 plus z. We got this, VC. What's 12 minus 6? Close. 12.
12 minus 6
Yep.
is 6.
You got it. So we got 6 plus z. You were just looking ahead. That's perfect. My z is 1. How do you think we need to write my answer, y'all? X, Y, Z. Alphabetical order. What's my answer? Beautiful. Now, check this one out. Oh, I don't have that up there for you. So on this one, again, are you guys allowed to solve these however you want? Absolutely. When it's given to you like this way, Livingston Sanders. Okay. Again, you can use substitution or elimination whenever. I'm just trying to teach you tricks so that you're doing this the fastest way. There are many ways, but they can be hard. Do you agree? What did they already do here? The y is already gone. The y is already gone. You agree with that?
Yeah.
So, any ideas what we'd want to do with these other two?
Probably you use them as the equations we use that one on.
But what variable would we want to get rid of? Get rid of the y. You know what I'm saying, people?
Yeah.
Let's get rid of the y. So, again, I like to label mine A, B, and C instead of 1, 2, and 3 because I think we have too many numbers involved already. You guys, that labeling is really going to help me when you say, I didn't get it. I don't know what I did. I'm going to have to look through your slop, which I'm happy to. But you labeling them and kind of showing me your work is going to make it a lot easier, okay? All right, so A already got rid of the Y.
Yeah.
I have to involve all three, A, B, and C, by the end. So you go with, let's use B and C to get rid of the Y. What do we want to multiply B and or C by to get rid of the Y? C by 2. So you're saying take 2C and add it to which one? B. I dig it. What would 2C look like? Who wants a cherry Swizzler? Cooper really wants some. Annabelle, do you want a Swizzler?
Sure.
Okay, give me 2C, Annabelle.
Negative 4x plus 2y plus negative 2z equals negative 2.
Ooh, well done. Well done. I'm going to throw B right underneath it. 3x minus 2y plus a z is 0. Agreed. Let's go back to this guy. Negative 4x plus 3z. Would that be negative 1x or positive 1x? Perfect. Negative 1x minus 1z, she said, is negative 2. Heh. Now, A and this one only have x's and z's. I like it. Ritzy says, why don't we just go back to that A, divide by 4 so that I could get x by itself. So, Ritz, what would x be?
X would be equal to negative 2z.
Huh. I already have x equals one thing. Is that helpful for substitution, Ritzy? So if x is negative 2z, that's equation A, right, Ritz? If I plug that in for x down here, is that involving my B and my C? This guy I only got by involving B and C, right? So we have to involve A into this somehow. This is beautiful. Could I have, I think this is great. Let's go plug it in, peeps. Let's go plug it in. If my x is negative 2z, be careful about those negatives. What's negative 1x, Tay-Tay? Negative 1 times negative 2z going to get me? 2z minus 1z is negative 2. Anyone else go haywire with their 2's? My 2's go from loopy swoopy to this, to my z's. That's why my z's, I always have to differentiate with my little boop. 2z minus 1z? Z is how much? And that's when you're like, oh, phew, she's not the devil. She didn't give me all these decimals. I feel good about it. Yeah? Okay. What would we do with that then? Could I, okay, do you agree to get this? We used A, B, and C to get that value. So now anything is fair game.
Yeah.
You're saying you could put that back in? Coop, go for it.
You get that x equals 4, and then you can plug that into B.
Oh, wait, real fast.
plug
Hold on, one sec.
Wait,
So
no, you plug that
4x
into C.
equals 16, right? Because negative 8 times negative 2. And therefore you said x is 4?
Yep.
I dig.
Then you plug it into C.
Plug what into C? You said it. I don't like the word it.
You plug Z and into X into C.
He's saying, well, let's go plug him in. Could I have plugged him into B?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
No,
could
but
have.
Y by itself in C.
Ooh, okay. Oh, I like that. No,
So-
that. So how much will we have if I plug in 4 for my x into
You
C?
get negative 8 plus Y plus 2 equals negative 1.
Ooh, he said plus 2. Would this turn into a plus 2 if my z is negative 2?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because negative times negative equals positive.
Very good, bud. Plus 2 equals negative 1. So many room, so many places for mistakes. Negative 8 plus 2. Plus y is negative 1. Final answer,
Ooh.
5. What's my x, y, and my z?
4, 5, negative 2.
Good job, you guys. Okay, guys. Let's keep grinding. Your notes look amazing. This is hard. So I'm bribing us with Twizzies. Whew! Does this one scream substitution to you? No. When there's 3 variables, I would not use substitution. Could I get x by itself? Sure. I wouldn't. I wouldn't use substitution unless they're very, my variables are typically like 1x and 1y and 1z. When it's not, I'd really go elimination, okay? Here's why. Substitution would require a lot of fractions. We make mistakes with fractions. So I say we try that elimination again, and I ask that we choose one variable to get rid of and choose that same variable in both routes that we go. So I'm going to name, we got A, B, and C. Do we want to get rid of, and again, there's no wrong answer here, the X's, the Y's, or the Z's? There's no wrong answer. Teo's saying Z's. We're going to have to get up to 15s, right, to get rid of my Z's?
Well, if we got the first 2.
Right, so I would multiply by 3, but at some point I'd have to get up, and then a 5. Okay, 3s and 5s. Anyone want to work with the Y's?
No.
I don't personally. 3 doesn't go into 10. I feel like those will get bigger. Say that again, Kate. You're saying the X's. Kate, what do you like about the X's?
I can see the X's.
She's like, I see a 2 there.
Oh, but there's no negative.
There's no negative. So I agree. I think X's and Z's are the best options. Let's just choose as a class. Which would we rather go with? X?
I'd say Z.
Boom. You go Z. We're going to go X. You can do whatever you want, though, okay? All right. Annabelle, if we're going X, do you want to work with A and B, A and C, or B and C first? There's no wrong answer.
B and C to start.
She says, let's just do B and C. What do we want to do to B and C to get rid of our X's?
Just times B by -2.
Love it. And add it to my C. -2 B's, add them to my C's. Ryan, you got this. Ryan, help me out with it. -2 B would be. I'm going to put that -2 right there.
Negative 4x.
Yep.
Minus 6y.
Yes.
Plus 6e.
Yes.
Equals -2.
Yes. No one has forgotten to take it all the way to that little guy. Awesome. I'm going to bring my C right under it. You guys, if you're trying to do all this in your head, you are going to make a mistake. If you come up and there's not much work written on your page, you're like, I don't know what I did wrong. I'm going to have to say, I don't know either, because I can't get in your noggin. I can get on your page though, okay? Let's add them, people. What do we got? How many Y's?
4.
4 Y's. How many Z's?
1.
Love it. How many numbers?
-5.
Beautiful. Let's remind ourselves. We just used B and C, and we got rid of X's. I have to use A. I can use A and B or A and C. I must get rid of X's to make my life easier. Help me out, y'all. Do we want to do A and B or A and C to get rid of the X? Yeah, A and B, you're saying, Sean? I'm down with that. How many A's? 2 A's or -2 A's? Ooh, -2 A's, he's saying. Plus a B is going to get rid of my X's. -2 A's. What do we think? -2 A's is going to get me -2X. How many Y's? Plus 4 Y's.
60. No,
-2 Z's. Careful. What's that going to equal?
-30.
-30. Thank you so much. I get so nervous about the negatives. I'm going to throw B underneath it. I'm going to add them up. Ooh. At this point, a lot of people get stuck at this point. We have this green equation and we have this purple equation. This is what I gave you yesterday, things like this. They both have 2 equations, so you variables, so you want to work with these 2. Do we want to get rid of my Y's or my Z's? What can we do over here to get rid of my Z's? Yeah, I agree, Ritzy. He says, if I multiply this guy by 5, I'm going to put it over there. How many Y's would I have if I multiplied this guy by 5? 20 Y's. Plus 5 Z's equal -25. Add them up. 27Y equals -54. Divide by 27. Is that nice? Oh, hallelujah. You guys, I got my Y is -2. This is also a place where people struggle. Do I go to my beginning equations when I have 1 variable solved? No, you go to these highlighted ones. You go to the ones that only have 2 variables. You can plug it into either. I'm going to plug mine in right here just because I got space. 4 times -2 would get me -8 plus Z is -5. Z gets me 3. Do you want to plug in my Z and my Y to A, B, or C? It makes no difference. A, B, or C. You down with A? All right. My X, we don't know it. What would -2Y be if my Y is -2? Positive or -4? Love it. Plus 4 My z is 3, so I'm going to say plus 3 is 15. 15 minus 7? 8. Thanks, Feast. A, B, and C. X, Y, and Z. My bad. Final answer?
-2, 3.
Thanks, buddy.